We're synchronized. Amazing. Hey, thank you so much for coming.
Cheers. Thank you for inviting.
It's so cool to see you here. So why did you take your time for coming here?
I'm excited to share my story. I think it's motivating. I've been doing this, like giving motivational talks at universities,
Oh, really?
at companies, at groups, and it always come along as motivational because it has been like 10 years of trying and then finally succeeding with my business. And it's a story there which people who wants to become entrepreneurs they love to hear because it tells them that there's hope. There's light at the end of the tunnel.
Well, I think you've tried a lot, right?
Yeah.
And you also failed, isn't it?
Yeah.
So who are you, and like why the fuck are you sitting here? Like what's the story behind it?
So my name is Zsolt. I usually introduce myself like Zsolt, like the salt and pepper. And I'm a programmer by profession. I've been programming since 2007. Started in school, intense programming, then university programming, computer science, and then I've done like 8 years full-time job as a programmer at Morgan Stanley in Amsterdam and another Dutch company. And now I'm running a business for 2 years. So it has been a long journey with programming and a long way to try many different things. So who am I? I love to hip hop. I love to
We've seen this a few days ago. Yeah, that was pretty cool.
So I love to juggle. I love to drive boats, flips, parkour, free running. I'm into many different things. Usually interested in many things to try it out, and whatever I like sticks around.
Yeah, multifaceted human being. do you feel like it's sometimes hard to keep on one thing?
Yeah. Variety is the spice of life. So I love to try out many things and see whatever I like and what do I have a talent for, what keeps me motivated, what makes me wake up in the morning.
That's super cool. Where are you from?
I'm from Hungary, born in Romania. So now I'm traveling for 4 years. So where are you from? It's a bit invalid because now I didn't really visit home for a while.
So like full-time traveling?
Yeah.
Since 4 years?
Yep.
And before that, did you live in Hungary?
Before that I lived in Amsterdam, before that in Hungary, and before that in Romania, where I was born. So
you're traveling alone?
With my partner.
Yeah, amazing.
For 4 years.
You also told me she's inside of your business too, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
So she's a co-founder, and she's one of the main reasons why this company became successful.
Some credits to your wife. That's good.
Yeah.
That's pretty good.
I mean, I was the one that tried many times, many years, but when she came along, then all became structured. Everything became like I am more like an ideas person. I have an idea, and then I just excited about it. I don't even do research. I'm super excited and like I just do it, and I'm just executing it. And then 3-4 months later, I realized why wasn't it working from the beginning.
Yeah. So is she also a part of like the idea process, or is she like keeping you together and being like, yeah, you need to do this, or like what's exactly the other part that she's so successful about?
She's more of keeping me together. So as of how the story goes of this part of the story, I'm gonna start from the beginning because then it gives more context.
Sure.
So 2013, I was second year at university. I already started my first side project that was my own to build. I built like a CRM for a printing company at the beginning. I didn't even know what's a CRM, and I just built it. And it failed because I wasn't planning for scale. I planned only for one client. So that was kind of a side job, even though it could have been something bigger. Then I tried to save the world from trash with a platform where you can give to each other free stuff that you would throw away.
How old were you?
I was 22. but I underestimated how marketing works. I thought that whenever I'm doing something good for the world, then everybody will be standing in line in front of my door, like, oh, finally somebody's doing some good, thank you, and like thousands are bombarding the website.
Didn't happen.
It didn't happen, and I tried to push marketing myself, whatever marketing I could do. Like went to the metro, gave away flyers. I reached to the point after a few months when strangers gave things to strangers, but it was just too big of a piece, so I gave up after a while because I didn't even know the term marketing, not to mention like what takes to build such a which came first, chicken or the egg. Like you need people to give and people to get. So you need people, and I wasn't prepared for this infusion of people and how much effort does it take to get yourself known, because people are advertising, they are like professions of marketing, you yourself. So
did you realize before the next project, or was it like many years later you were like, oh, that's why?
Many years later I realized, after learning about marketing, actually the whole business side of all the projects that I failed, I kind of learned while the successful business was ongoing. Because then I knew what worked, and this old project didn't work because of this is hard. Like then I knew more about what works and what not after the success. So yeah, basically I had an idea every week or every month. Every week I had an idea, and usually when I failed a project, I already had a few projects in my head that I wanted to work on, and sometimes I had too many projects that I worked on 3-4 projects at the same time. It was killing me. Context switching is not so healthy. So I needed to focus on one, and sometimes it succeeded to focus on one. Sometimes I didn't.
Did you already make money at this point of your
No.
project?
So these side projects made almost zero money. So one of the Android games made $2.55. That's
I remember it.
yeah, because that was the first ever. I made a rip-off of Flappy Bird. I called it Floppy Bird. I copy-pasted it. I added some new features, some goats screaming, some fun. And so when the bird died, it was like, ah! Like the goat was screaming. And I invited a lot of my friends. So that's when I connected with all of my Facebook friends. I wrote like, hey, how are you doing? And I needed to chat with them. And like, hey, by the way, I made this game. That was my...
first marketing move.
Personal marketing. And I realized Google doesn't like it because they realized that I have some shady activity. And they consider this, that I invite like hundreds of my friends to download and rate it. It's not proper. Actually, it's also in the terms and conditions, but silly me, like young me, I didn't even know such things before.
You didn't even read the terms of conditions.
Yeah. They just scroll down, accept, like...
maybe I should start reading them then,
Yeah. Wise choices. Now Google is really strict about it. Back in the days, they would let through anything and everything.
Yeah, Floppy Bird, I don't think this will happen
no, it's not going to happen. Now it's taken down, so it's not available anymore because throughout the day. So it's funny because now I'm an app developer, and back in the days, they terminated my account because of these invite my friends to like it, and I got suspended a few times. So they terminated my account. And it's pretty funny. I didn't talk about this anywhere, but I wrote them an email like, hey guys, I was young and naive. Now I'm old and I am a professional programmer, app developer. Do you mind to unblock my account maybe? And they unblocked it.
Really?
Yes.
Some Indian guy in Google office, and he was saying like, relatable.
Check approve. It's pretty funny because it only takes an email, and like I got my personal account back. I was like honest, like look man, I was
young and naive. It's like literally 17 years later. Please,
like, give me back my account, please. Like maybe it's my name. Like and I got back my personal account, even though I don't use it that anymore. We have a company account, so corporate stuff you need to create a new account for it. So back to the story, like projects. I moved to Amsterdam and I started creating robotics because I lived on a houseboat.
Like
and
physical?
Like physical. Yeah. Like I made a LED-like district, which is you put sensors on your hand and on your feet, and you have a stage full with LEDs, full with lights. And I'm a hip hop dancer, so whenever I move, the lights are following my movement.
Oh, that's
So-
so cool.
I made a prototype. I even took it to a party, and it was with a battery and a lot of cables out of it. People were looking at it like, it's a bomb. it was wired on my
Yeah.
side of my
Oh, yeah.
trousers,
Yeah.
literally like a suicide bomber. It was funny, but like my whole jacket was lit up, and it
Yeah.
was.
Do you have pictures of it by any
Yeah,
chance?
yeah.
Can you send me some?
Yeah,
This would be
yeah.
amazing. It's so cool.
I
Okay.
even had the video when I first prototyped it. I
Oh,
took,
nice.
took it to the party, and like people were like, "What is this?"
Yeah. Don't fucking forget to edit this in.
Sending the photos.
Yeah.
And I started learning Arduino. So I built also bed boat, which is I lived on a houseboat, so it's an inflatable
Whoa,
bed.
whoa, 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 whoa. This is the more interesting part. Sorry, you lived in a houseboat?
Yeah, I moved to Amsterdam. So okay, so give more context. I had a long relationship, and I broke up with a 4-year relationship, and I was a bit sad. So I was like, let's spice my life up. So
Let's buy a boat.
let's buy a boat and move to a houseboat. What can go wrong? Like, and it kind of worked. So I was like happy, like in a month after like broke up 4 years, and
That's super cool.
it was like I was back to business. And I
It's like 35-year-old men suddenly buying motorcycles and like the suicidal thought in them trying to kill them. Is it the same thing? Yeah,
No,
I need to
I mean-
spice up my life.
I mean, I could only go with 6 kilometers per hour in the Amsterdam canals, so no chance to killing. But yeah, I mean,
This is kind of romantic, going 6 kilometers per hour on the Amsterdam Canal.
but it was spicy because like a lot of people came to my boat. Like every day, I had like 50, 60 people. I took boat rides, either free or paid. So I had a lot of. I went to work by boat. Then at lunchtime, I organized.
What, really?
Yeah. What the fuck? It was 6 minutes by bike or 12 minutes by boat. So I was like, okay, I'll take the boat.
New icon on Google Maps.
Yeah, I put the breakfast on my steering wheel at the boat, and I just eat breakfast while I'm driving.
Oh, this
9 in the morning.
So cool. Where do you park a boat?
Actually, the office was next to the canal, so I literally had my own boat parking spot next to the building.
These typical developers, they get everything if they ask for it. Boat parking space.
Well, it's not like I got it; I claimed it. It was like.
Do you have pictures of that?
Yeah.
Amazing. Okay, this is the best YouTube videos I've ever
I have
gonna be
pictures
in.
when I'm developing, and next to me it's the boat, like two floors down. There's the canal, and there's my
Yeah.
boat parked, so I could look over it. So
So nobody steals the boat, I guess.
yeah, I mean they steal motors, but
Yeah.
the boats were locked,
Yeah,
and this was
yeah.
also like a camera area, so they don't fuck with areas with cameras.
Yeah.
So
So you moved to the boat. Sorry.
so I moved on a boat, and I had crazy ideas. And one day, I get a lot of guests. I did a lot of couch surfing, so I had like 250 couch surfers or 300 around in the boat and in everywhere in the world. And I had inflatable mattresses to host them in the living room. And one day I threw it out on the window because I was like, hey, this might be floating. Let me throw it out on the window from my houseboat. And I tried it out, and it was super comfortable, like a water bed. So I sit down on it. Let me bring the pillows, the bed sheet, the bedding, and
Outside of the boat.
outside the boat there was the canal, there was the
Yeah.
water.
But did you like bind it somehow or?
No, it was just loose. I mean, it's
Yeah.
not going anywhere. I had a pedal, so
Yeah.
I could move. It was super light.
Yeah.
So I put the pillows, the bedding, the bed sheet on it, and I was like, oh, this is super comfortable. Let me just show it to the world. So I dragged it with my boat. I put a rope
Yeah.
around it,
Yeah.
and with my motorboat, I dragged it through Amsterdam city center. So the city center wasn't prepared for what was coming because the bridges were full. And they were like a bed on the canals. And I pretended that I'm sleeping. And I was I dragged my ex girlfriend through the canals. I was driving, and she was in the back testing the boat. And suddenly,
You need to tell me there's a video of it.
there's a video of it. And suddenly the police showed up. There's a video about that as well. When the police shows up, only when they start to come after me, because afterwards I cut it down like there's no party here. And they came after me and like, you cannot do this, sir. And like, why? Because you cannot drag any object behind your boat. And I was thinking to myself, what if this is a boat? Then it's possible. Yeah, it needs to be a boat. Then let it be. Let me create the bed boat. So I went home and I researched a bit and I ordered submarine engines.
So it classifies as a boat.
Yeah, so it classifies as a boat.
wow.
And I worked on hiding the engines under the whole mattress, so it's not visible.
Yeah. So
And they must be submarine engines because I need to hide them. I need to submerge them under the water. And I built the whole like there's the bed. It's really wobbling, you know. Like you need to put the engine somehow to be super steady.
Yeah.
So for that I had mopping sticks and I created a frame from mopping sticks.
Yeah.
And I attached the boat to the mopping sticks, and that kind of grid went around the mattress, so it was like a sandwich: engines, mopping sticks grid, and a soft boat.
Yeah.
And under the pillow, I had a joystick. So with the joystick, I could move the boat forwards, backwards,
so
left and right.
Didn't even need the boat to drag it anymore.
No, I didn't need the boat to drag it. That was the whole prank. I wanted to build a boat and I wanted to show it to the world and without the police to tell me anything. And that's the funny part, because after a few months I prototyped it, I built it, and it was ready for production. And I asked some friends to drive my motorboat while I'm driving my bed boat. And the police immediately showed up. And they were like, no, you cannot do this. And I was like, hey, this is a boat now. Look at this joystick. It goes left, it goes to right, it goes to front. It's no rope. And they were like, really? I've never seen anything like this. Okay, sir, have fun.
No.
And I don't have a video of this, but it really happened. So the police really came.
I trust you.
And they just looked at it and like they thought that it's again.
Yeah.
It's because
Were the same policeman?
I don't know if it's the same because it has been half a year later.
Yeah.
But the canals are full with cameras, so they know whatever's coming. So they kind of already knew that I'm preparing something. I took the whole mattress on the boat itself, so they assumed that I'm gonna drag it again behind the boat, and that was epic. Like I took it out. I have some videos when the people are just lining up at the bridge to watch. Like, what is this crazy guy doing in the canals? Sleeping on the mattress. And that was the prank. I wanted to sleep on the mattress while the boat under me moves by itself. And it didn't happen that I slept because I was so excited, like, finally my project is going. Yeah. And like, people were asking me, are you sleeping? Yes. I just couldn't like close my eyes. It was so exciting, like moment of what I prepared for a half a year.
Yeah, I can imagine.
And I have some videos about it, and people were throwing me beers like, hey, this is cool, here's a beer. I collected 7 beers through half an hour. And people were shouting me, how much?
Like, 2 beers.
I was shouting 1,000, like, okay, like, just joking. I didn't have any license to give it, and it was super prototype. Like I literally have all the controllers in an egg box and a sandwich container. Like if somebody came with a needle from Tom and Jerry and like popped it up, the whole project would have been sank and adios.
That sounds kind of dangerous.
Yeah, so it's not production ready. So
how old were you?
I was 27 at that point.
But you were really thinking about making it production ready? You wanted to make a product out of it?
So that's the point. I didn't really thought about production. I just thought about the idea. I like how I work is I think about the product. I have a really strong vision of how it's gonna be at the end. Like I really imagine all the final version and how impactful would it be on other people. And it was like that. Actually, the assumption was valid because people really went crazy about it. But the thing is, I still don't know how to make money with it. And let's talk about production. With production, it's pretty hard to make hardware production proof because you need to make a microcontroller, you need to design it, and it shouldn't be cables all over. It should be like a board that needs to be printed from China, and if something goes wrong you need to recall all the units. I kind of went into it. I researched a bit what would it take to
you wanted it to make
I wanted it, but then when I've seen how much effort is it, and I've seen people talking about it, I was like, okay, I don't even know where am I selling, what permits do I get. I'm just gonna stick with software. So that's I still have the prototype of the bed boat in Amsterdam in one of the basements. but I haven't touched it for like 4 years now.
Okay, we're going to Amsterdam at some point. Okay, and you're unpacking this boat, and we're doing this 100%.
All right, let's do it.
It's so cool. Okay.
So I had fun projects like this, and I had ideas, and I wanted them like an analogy would be that a grown-up kid that wants Christmas presents, and the Christmas present is whatever he imagines. Like that was me back in the days. I imagined something, I want it, I can build it, I'm gonna build it because it's gonna be fun. So I built it. So
That's
I kind
amazing.
of built things for the fun.
Yeah.
So I wasn't work for me, even though you would see me in the evening that I was working my ass off. I was home at 6. Even at work, I would just note down what I'm gonna do when I get home. And when I got home, I was immediately back to business. I was like, yeah, finally, okay, let's do this and this and this.
This means dedication and love for you, for what you're doing, isn't it? Was it hard with relationships? I could imagine, like, you know, girlfriend saying, "Oh, you come from work and then you work, and then you work." Was it hard?
Well, the previous girlfriend that I broke up with 4 years ago, she was also a programmer. So
Oh, yeah, okay.
I'm a workaholic, not in a, I don't know if it's bad or good way. I love to work because I love the process of it. Like I have a strong vision, and each step I'm getting closer to it, I'm happier to see my baby become true. So she was programmer, so it was a fit because I could also project and prototype while I was home, while I was at the weekend. Some weekends we would have just spent coding, and that was kind of the romance, coding, and then going out for dinner, coding. Like instead of like, hey, honey, how was your day? Or like, how was the project going? So I kind of focused on this, and even now my partner is my business partner.
Yeah.
So otherwise, I just like other people might not be able to handle me.
Yeah, but this is such a controversial topic when it comes to relationship and doing business together. Some people say never do this, you know, like never fuck the company, never do business with a partner or friend. And other people say like, okay, if you're doing business with a partner, it needs to be so well of a relationship that like, but then it's gonna explode.
Yeah, so we were super stable in the relationship-wise, so we upgraded the relation to enterprise. So the package got promoted. So,
That's
I mean, there are the only thing that happens now is sometimes we have disagreements in business, and that affects the relationship, but we kind of never had problems in the relationship that affect the business. Usually now it's the other way around because we have stronger disagreements on business. Like she's also strong-minded. I'm also strong-minded when I have like something that I want to do.
Stubborn when you see the goal.
Yeah, stubborn, but also like relatively, let's say, intellectually stubborn. I don't know what the word for it. Like I reason for my stubbornness, like why, and I would change my mindset if there's the data to prove it.
Better argument against it, basically.
Yeah. So it's like basically not stubborn with arguing, but if somebody has a better argument, I would go for it. So, so yeah, with the relationship, I've heard horror stories with it. Some friends, they started company together, then they broke up, and of course the company went with it. So he needed to pay his girlfriend like whatever the company worth at the time. So yeah, there are horror stories like that. So. I mean, it has been 2.5 years now that we are running the business. Everything works so far. Let's see if.
What was your like first successful? You know, like the real successful after all of these projects, and like you didn't know how to market it. And then what was your first thing that like blew up, and you were like, oh, okay, so I actually can live off that. Personal, not employed.
The first personal one was the beginning of our current business. So after all these projects, we kind of getting to the end of the story, which will transition to this question.
Okay.
Which I started building Android apps.
Yeah.
And the story goes back way before Christ, before the whole thing. So I'm a video editor for 20 years. I got my first computer, 11-year-old me, and I started immediately editing videos frame by frame. I started drawing frames and I put together like a music video frame by frame. And that was kind of my initial journey for video editing. And ever since, I think I edited like 50, 60 anime music videos and a lot of breakdance, parkour, whatever video would it be. I think I've done more than 100 projects in video editing, which is a hobby. It's a hobby. I never learned it. I just learned it by doing. And one of the videos that I made, it took me 4 months to make, and it got 2 million views on YouTube. So it's a Hungarian music which is super ugly, like in the wording. It's like bad. It's like kurva and like the lot of swearing in it in Hungarian, but it's full with swearing, so people loved it. And I made a music video with Dragon Ball Z when they lip sync on the music, so it feels like they are singing it.
Did you draw it yourself?
No,
like Dragon Ball Z? No.
Dragon Ball Z, I took it from the animation. Like I just cut pieces out. So it took me a lot of time because each mouth movement I needed to correctly synchronize. So each second took me like 7-8 videos sometimes to synchronize all the tiny mouth movement. I didn't know better. Like I was 15 years old when I made this, and
2 million views at 15 years old. That's
that was a lucky video to get. I mean, I have other videos that also get 500,000 views, similar to lip syncing, but it got 500,000 because I used Linkin Park in the end, which is a famous song, of course. But the quality of the video is also good. Like it had really good effects. I took my time. I built it in 4 months. Like those 4 minutes, I took my 4 months on it. I had a infinite amount of time in school. I didn't have bills to pay. I didn't have Gmails to answer. So. And like now as a programmer, I was thinking about it again. Like, what if I'm just gonna milk that success a bit more? What if I'm gonna create an automation that I can lip sync everything easily without spending 4 months? And I wanted to create a lip sync automation programmatically. So that was the goal. That was the whole mission. I called it Me Melody. That was the program why I started to build apps.
So, Me Melody.
Yeah.
Is it still online?
Yeah. It's reachable. It's still working, and I put a lot of effort in it. So the whole deal was that I wanted to build apps, but I didn't know how to build Android apps. I built before, but not native Android. I used some game engines for the Floppy Bird, but it was not the native Android which I needed now for video editing. So to warm myself up, I started using the video editing library, and it had some features like splitting up the video, stabilizing the video. I wanted to try them, and I wanted to create like prototypes to warm myself up for the big project. And I released the first project ever released was the Mask soundboard, which was a movie. The Mask, you just tap a button like spoken, and like it was going. It's nothing. It's literally just took me like a few days because I got used with the environment. The second was the video splitter. The third one was video compressor, and the fourth one was video stabilizer. Like all of them until the stabilizer got like, I don't know, 1-2 downloads every day. But video stabilizer just blew up. Like it got hundreds of downloads every day, and it got to like thousands of downloads every day.
Did you monetize it already?
No, I just released it in 4 hours. It was just a warm-up, like literally like select the video, press processing, save the video. It was just my 4 hours of prototyping. It wasn't even working properly. I released it, and I got so many downloads, and people were like, please fix it, we need it. They were writing me emails. And I was like, okay, I'm gonna fix it. That was the time when I started traveling with my partner, when the video stabilizer got the emails. Actually, I still remember the first Airbnb we went to. I'm getting the emails that, hey, please fix this video stabilizer. And I was
you're like, the fuck?
I was telling her, like, actually, sorry, we need to fix some stuff. So I went in to fix because I've seen how many downloads it gets. It was surprising because it's just a test It was not the project that I wanted.
You never expected this.
I never expected. It was just a warm up.
Yeah,
It was something to get ready for the big Apple, the Me Melody project for the lip syncing. And still, people just went nuts for it. They were like, "Yeah, I want it. Give me more. I want a fixed version." So I fixed it, and now if you type in video stabilizer in the Play Store, it's gonna be on the top 3, sometimes in the first one.
Okay.
Because I was the second video stabilizer at the time, and mine was working, the other one wasn't. So they kind of did something wrong, and I was, at a certain point, I was the only one that was working on an Android.
Well, did you monetize it at some point?
At some point, yes. A few months later, I put in ads and purchase, one-time purchase, which I kind of regret, because if it would have been a subscription. But I read what is subscription. Subscription is for newsletters or something recurring for monthly payment. No.
And now everything is subscription.
I should have just put in subscription. I could have gotten way more money out of it.
Well, probably,
but anyway, those are like warm up.
Yeah.
So
is it an okay question to ask, like how, like, because I have no idea about how exactly apps are monetized, and what makes more money, ads or the one-time purchase?
I would say that subscriptions.
Not the one-time purchase.
No, one-time purchase. At this point, if you want to make money, you should think in subscriptions. One-time purchase doesn't really make that much sense for me at this time when we had so much experience with subscriptions. So it's good for the users because then they don't need to pay. But if you look at the budget, like how much you end up at the end, the profits, subscriptions make more sense.
Long term.
Yeah.
What was the first big paycheck out of the stabilizer thing?
I still remember going up, and at the beginning it was only ads because a subscription was harder to implement. So I was like just getting the paycheck from the ads. And I still remember crossing like the €1 mark for the day and like crossing the €10 mark for the day. Like there was like checkpoints on like how much do I get. Like at the beginning we were joking that I can now buy a coffee for every day.
Every day. But like that's a lot. Like €1 every day from an app.
Yeah. I mean, it got downloads, so I reached it because it had hundreds and even thousands of downloads. So then it started going up and up. Like paycheck, I wouldn't say that it was big at the like boom, like YouTubers like go overnight success with one video. It's usually, for me, it was like steady growing. I still remember like there were spikes when I still was at the €1 level. Somehow it was €13. Like something happened. I still don't know what happened. I think a YouTuber shouted out my stabilizer, and then people downloaded it because I found myself on YouTube. Other people are talking about it, even though I didn't ask them for. So it's kind of organically growing because it is good. So people see the value in it, so they recommend
Download it.
Yeah, please.
Is there a subscription model now?
No, it's still one-time purchase.
Why not?
I don't know. Like it doesn't make that much sense. I mean, it brings a few €100 now every month. So if I do subscription, it's gonna be a few hundred more. But with the current projects, it's way more. So it doesn't worth my time to go back. Even though like now I'm planning to switch to subscription. Let me see how much effort will it take.
Well, like in my non-technical mind, this is not clear why it takes more of an implementation time to do a retainer instead of a one-time purchase. Why is it so much harder to do a subscription model instead of a one-time purchase?
Oh, it's just a implementation thing because you change the product that's going to be purchased. You need to set it up. You need to like code it properly. Then you need to check it if it's active, if it's expired. So it's with a one-time purchase. If it's there, yes. Not there, no. So it's like easy logic. It was super like easier to implement than subscription. Subscriptions takes more to synchronize and stuff like that. So it's gonna take a bit, and I didn't touch this code for years, so I need to dust it up,
reread it again,
upgrade the library. So it's gonna be taking my time to like put it in my context, in my brain
I see,
again.
I
Like,
see, I see.
so-
And you're trying not to start side projects.
yeah,
Or your wife is trying to not to make you start new projects.
yeah, that doesn't make it. I mean, it's a few €100 at this point. We have a company, and we had a certain point 8 people to feed with salaries and everything.
Yeah.
So a few hundred more, it doesn't really bring anything more. Like, we have bigger fishes to fry.
How much percentage does Google Play take for like a purchase?
So it's funny because like
You signed an NDA.
it's 15%, but you think that apps is a B2C, and it's actually, if you think about it from an invoicing standpoint, it's a B2B, because Google collects the money from everybody and they charge 15%. They handle the payment provider, they handle the taxes, they handle everything, and then they send it to you once every month.
So it's not bad, right?
So it's really good, because otherwise you would need to deal with paying taxes in each country, distributing the money. Like, there are services that do this. I heard that if you do like B2C, and if people are buying from you from Kazakhstan or Dubai, you would or Greece, you would need to send them the taxes, because you kind of get money from their people. So there are companies that are specialized for this, that you send them the amount and they spread it around across countries. But luckily, Google does take care of this. So they pay taxes in the specific country where the user came from, so you can go global, and then you just don't care about it. Google collects everything, takes 15%.
Do you think it's okay? It's a valid price point? You think it's okay?
I think so. I mean, they provide the store, they provide the users, they provide availability. So I mean, it's their platform.
Yeah.
Payments, taxes,
Yeah.
in like accounting wise as well, spreadsheets of what happened. So it's a full on managed platform, and I think it's pretty fair, because they bring, if your app is good, it's gonna blow up. Like, I think it's easier. I mean, for me, because we had success with it, it was easier for us to do apps than websites, because on the App Store, it's you have easier chance to get blown up.
So like it's in like a TikTok or Instagram algorithm. There's no SEO on Google
Yeah,
Ads.
yeah,
involved.
like Google Ads SEO is super vague. It's really hard to find you unless you like go marketing. But here, if you have a good app, Google will promote you. So it's just instantly. Like, it's not like you need to write the app and you need to wait half a year until the SEO grows and you get known. Here, no, you upload the app. If it's good, Google will push it. So
Interesting.
So yeah, regarding 15%, I think it's fair. And ads, I don't even know how much percent they take, but they take some cut. I mean, from ads as well.
So you can like turn ads on and it's gonna go.
Yeah.
Okay.
So you need to place the ads. You have few ads options. You have a banner ad. You have, which is like banner. You just have a banner. You have the full screen interstitial. That's the word for it. Like the full screen ad, which you can X. And then you have the rewarded ads, which are like half-a-minute videos, which we use when you process photos now, because that's the most valuable, because it takes the user's time, half a minute, and then they pay way more. And with the ads, you need to be careful of, not careful, but need to bear in mind that each country is gonna pay you differently. Like India has super low CPM, and then for example, America or Australia or Germany have really high CPM, cost per click. That's what you get. So the more valuable, the more money that people have in a country,
that makes sense.
The more the advertiser will pay for it.
Yeah. Why are mobile app advertisements always so shitty? Like these unclear kid games of like some cheap animations. Why? What is that?
I mean, at the end, it's all different for everybody. Whoever pays the most. So it's everybody. Every one of us is targeted. So if you scroll on Facebook or wherever or a website and you stopped for a bit, it's recorded in your history that, hey, you might be interested in this.
Mm-hmm.
So then you're gonna be targeted. Or if you ever got like curious about such shitty ad, accidentally even, or I don't know, then they were like, oh, this person stayed for a few seconds, let me just bombard more. So it's all different. For like, it's the same that I'm getting a lot of intellectual videos on my YouTube feed, and somebody's getting a lot of cat videos because they are just.
So you just said people that like cats are done. No, just kidding.
No. It's it's cute.
Yeah. The algorithm. Yeah, the algorithm just knows.
No, the cats are intellectual as well. They come to you to get food.
That's true. How did you get? So it's like the company is 4 years old, and you say you started with your wife as a co-founder, and now you have eight more employees besides your wife, you, and then 8 more people.
We had at a certain point. Now it's downgraded. So the story goes that, the 8 employees. So just to keep the storyline with the success.
You fund this out.
With the success, because it's gonna get there to the employees. So there were these accidental apps. Like back to the previous line, the video stabilizer, and then I wrote this Me Melody app, which I planned for the whole time, and it wasn't successful. It wasn't so viral that I imagined it. So I even started a YouTube channel for this to promote my crazy projects, which nobody's searching for. And afterwards, I took a part out from this Me Melody, and 10% of it was video to photo, and that also blew up.
Like video, like a thumbnail to photo,
like to extract photos from a video.
Okay.
And why it blew up? Because mine was unique in a way that I designed it. I designed a carousel of frames. So you could literally see each frame. Like in the iCloud, like in the Google iOS photo app, or you... Like in the photo app. Yeah, so you could scroll through the photos of the video. Yeah. So you can pick the right one, exactly the right one. Yeah. So that's why it stood out. Yeah, it was super convenient. Even though there were like 20, 30 video to photos, mine got again to the top 3 because it was a unique design. I never checked the competition. I just had something in my mind. I implemented it, and it was there, and it became successful. So that was also helping for my coffee money. So going forwards, I had 3 apps out of the 15 that got me passive income. That was like I got to the point. I told myself that I'm gonna quit my job as soon as I get 1,000 euros passively from the apps. And after 1.5 years of developing, I got to that point. So that was the point where, with my partner, next to these apps, I did also other apps because I cannot focus on one thing. We tried 3 different projects. They didn't work out. But at that point, when I reached 1,000 euros passive income, something miraculous happened, like something amazing, because I told her, hey, there's this video to photo app, and an HD video extracts a really pixelated photo. What if we could upscale it with AI or something? And I told her this idea, and then she took it to the garage and did a research. And she did the keyword research on AI photo enhancer. And she's seen that it was booming, like it was just like Bitcoin at the beginning. It was just skyrocketing. And she checked the competition, and she's seen that there's only 2 players in the field. And she also found the GitHub repository where we can upscale the photos. So she literally laid down the whole plan in front of me, like, look, we can make this photo enhancer. Look at the numbers, it's going up like a rocket. Like a business plan. Yeah. Look at these 2 apps. They both have like 10 million downloads, and there are 2 only in the store. They just got released a few months ago. And yeah, it's we also have the technology. So I was super against it because I was like, why would we make such a project where we would need computing power? Like, because a phone cannot enhance a photo, it's just too weak. So you need a computer with a server, like with a video card, a GPU, those crypto mining devices. You need those to enhance, upscale, colorize photos.
So they basically, the phone sends the picture to the server, it enhances it there or upscales them there, and then sends it back.
Exactly.
Okay.
So
you have running costs for an app actually.
Exactly. To minimize it, I bought the computer. So we bought the first computer.
Like the server.
Like we literally bought the video card computer. It was a huge 40 kilograms computer with 2 GPUs, 2 units that could process photos.
I've built PCs myself. What did you do? Like what kind of GPUs were it?
It's the 2080 Ti. 2 of them. It was water cooled and it was super heavy and beautiful as well. It was super heavy to move it. I remember I was getting out from the COVID at that time. It was like 2021. 2020. What was it? Anyway, I got the COVID in 21, and I got out. I was healing. I already got negative results, and I went to pick up this PC, and I brought a backpack. Like I imagined, I never had a PC. I had laptop for years, and I was like, it's gonna fit in this backpack. I had an old PC myself, like it was not bigger than this backpack. And I see that PC 40 kilograms. Holy how I'm gonna go?
I brought the backpack.
So I needed to go to the craftsman's, the craft store, the IKEA. I don't know which one was it, but I brought like wheels for it. So I put it on a platform. So I pushed it home. So
but weren't you traveling full time at this point?
At that point, yes, and we got back to Amsterdam because of this project. So
that's an investment.
So we were at Malta, and then we were planning to stay in Amsterdam for 1.5 months until the project is over. So we went there, and we stayed indoors, and kind of haven't really went outside for 1.5 months until the project was over. And we were just coding. And
is your girlfriend now, or your wife, also coding?
No, she's originally not a coder, but she helped me out. So she was learning by herself for a few years in the university. She did some years of Python stuff. So I showed her how to program, and then she also did some. It was funny because I mean, as a programmer, I know structure and everything. She was writing everything in one file. And then I was like, okay, this is now how you do it. You take it out, you take it here, you take different file, and now it's organized. And she was like, where's my code? What did you do with my code? It was cute and funny.
Yeah, I can imagine.
But then she was super fastly learning to get up to speed. And then we released, and the first month we released, we got 72,000 downloads.
In the first month?
In the first month.
That's crazy.
Exactly. And it was just without ads, without subscriptions, wasn't sometimes working properly. The computer, we had only one computer, and it turned off in the middle of the night, so the server was down. Now we have 23 computers, so we have like a whole mini server park around Europe in 6 different locations. So
where? No, like, is it an apartment? Is it a basement? Is it like a rented out physical server at a data center? What is it?
So it's different places. So I have it in my childhood bedroom, like 5 GPUs there. I have it at my godfather, 4 GPUs. I have some in Debrecen at one of my really good friends' printing factory. I have 8 computers in an Amsterdam hackerspace. And I have 2 more in the neighbor hackerspace next door. And I have 2 more in a Rotterdam co-working space. So it was just all about who offered me. Like, people knew me that I have these, and they wanted to reduce their rent and just.
So how much are you paying like per computer space?
Well, per computer is like in average plus minus 50 40-50 euros per GPU unit.
Ah, yeah. Okay, so because of the electricity and stuff.
Yeah,
Basically.
so electricity and rent included.
Yeah, I used to mine Bitcoin. No,
Ah.
Ethereum on my new computer.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
like and then electricity price was also
Yeah, so
high for
I
you.
actually made profit. So I was like making like 70 a month, and then like 50 of this was for electricity.
Oh wow, so
Yeah.
20 profit. And how many GPUs did you have?
Only one.
Oh, one.
Yeah.
Yeah, with one. Yeah, I mean it's still a profit, right? It's
Also
still running.
Yeah, also during COVID. Yeah. Interesting. But so it went that well. It went so well that you were like, okay, now I need way more computing power.
Yeah, I immediately. Well, we planned a trip to Madeira, and as soon as we left the computer behind, and I was disturbing my roommate, my flatmate.
Every night.
Every night.
It's okay.
Like, please check the server. Can you please go down, unplug it, and plug it back again?
Yeah.
So I could connect with SSH through the terminal to the computer. So I can fix. Even now, I can connect to every computer. It's like set up in a safe environment with like a local VPN. So it's not visible from the outside, but it's visible for me. So I immediately planned my computer's purchases. As soon as I went to Madeira, I looked up for some new computers, and it was always depending on who could I trust to buy me the computer and set it up. So I have really good friends who I helped back in the days. So now they help me back. So in Rotterdam, I have a really close friend who helped me to put a computer in his friend's co-working space. I'd never seen that computer in my life. And
really?
I bought it, he put it, I can still log into it, but I never physically seen it yet. So there are some computers that I never seen. I think like 30% I haven't seen yet, maybe more. But
is it only for this one app, or is it for all of your AI apps?
For this and the new one. So what we've done, we released Photo Enhancer and Photo Restore AI. Two apps that at the beginning they were doing slightly different things. Like one was doing like old photos and the other was doing only Enhancer. And at a certain point, we kind of mixed and merged everything in everything. So both of the apps do the same thing. And both of the apps make the same money, almost, like equally big. And the funny thing is that like it doesn't matter that it does the same. What matters are the keywords, because the Photo Enhancer keyword niche genre is totally different than the Photo Restore, old Photo Restore. That's another section in the keyword. So we could have released like 10 apps. I'm just like now regretting not to release like 10 different apps with whatever keyword we could think about, like grandma photo fixer, or like I don't know, like face beautifier AI.
Oh, there is a bunch of those.
Yeah, I should have released we should have released like 10 of those, because like both of these apps just became equally successful. And if we would have like 10 of them, like we would have like, I don't know, like 5 times more money. But even now, I'm grateful. It's not like I'm like bitching about it. But
well, what systems did you use behind, like on the AI side, to handle like Stable Diffusion, or what was it?
So we were like, so we are using now Stable Diffusion to polarize, and like there's like some models that are enhancing the photo. You can find these like there. You go to GitHub and like you just search for models, and then you just install it on your computer, and then you can process the photo and send it back. So Stable Diffusion is one of the widely well known. We use it a lot. So it has like colorizing is really good in it, and it's also enhancing the faces. It goes multiple steps. So yeah, it really blew up. And back to the story when it started to blow up. I quit my job finally, and she did also quit her job because she didn't go to take PhD. She was accepted for the PhD. She has 3 universities, and then she didn't go through with the PhD. So we were both fully committed on it. And imagine first months. So we got limited by ads. As soon as we quit, our revenue went down to almost zero. So what happened is that AdMob, whenever you need to, there are two type of accounts for ads. There's a personal account and there's a corporate account. So you cannot switch. There's not a setting in the settings, so you can edit to change it from a personal to corporate. So what do? You create a new account and migrate your apps to the new account. So you need to fix the ad ID in the app and do an update. So you have the newest version, fresh version. But Google thinks it's smart with the automations, and at that point we got like 100 euros per day from the ads, and it was a new account, so we migrated, and the new account immediately got 100 euros per day. And Google was like, "Oh, this is too much. It's limited. Okay, from now on it's limited." And it was pretty intense. That was, yeah, we were fighting quite a lot about it. Like, it was because of the Indians. We should block India because they are doing click farming. And we thought that because Indians are also using our app, they might affect the ads algorithm that they see them also using. So they think it's invalid traffic.
Yeah,
so we were
understand.
fighting a lot about like which country should we block, what steps should we take, because it was like chaos. Like we just quit our jobs and like the revenue went like phew. Okay, from now on savings. You have savings for half year. Like if you can survive, go for it. Like literally we had like I had 16K savings, and that was with our traveling. We were still traveling, by the way, so we were going to Mexico at that point. And it was enough for half year based on for two people expenses. And if we make it, we make it. If we fail and go back to work. So that 6
So, but
months.
like, this is so bad. The limitation is so bad. You can be a half a year or a year without the account, basically.
Yeah.
And what about texting them an email and being, "Hey, I was young and naive."
No, because the point there, they would only open customer support, if I remember correctly, for if you reached at least 250 euros. But they blocked us so fast that we couldn't even contact the real customer support to check it out, because we are legit and have been in business for 2 years at that point before the apps.
And what then? Like, what? How do you solve it?
Well, we went to different ad providers. So there's not.
It was not Google directly. It was some like ad platform.
So AdMob, it's Google's platform. They blocked us.
Okay.
And what we decided is that we are gonna migrate to other ad providers while Google is gonna fix us, because we couldn't fix it with customer support. So we went to other providers, and slowly after 1.5 months, Google gave us back the traffic. So like organically, we let a few really valuable users there. But like 90% of the ads traffic we directed to another provider, and like we built a system where you can put how much percentage should the AdMob or AppLovin or Iron Source. We had like 5 different ad providers because we were like, we are not gonna stick with one. What if this one also fucks us again? So we were playing it safe and having multiple providers at the same time. But then AdMob pays the most. So
Why so?
that one I don't know why. They just do. I think they because they
want to maybe to stick you with Google.
Maybe because Google does a really good job in filtering out the ads that come. So the ads and the apps that are doing it, they limited us. So they really care about the quality of an app that shows ads. So whoever pays to Google, they can make sure that it's not going to be a scammy app that's just making money from Indian click farms. So I think that's why Google does a really good filtering and really good housekeeping in keeping good quality apps who could use the ads.
Interesting. As an advertiser that does ads on Google, apps is the worst. we always exclude apps and display. Like,
oh really?
Yeah.
maybe not. They don't do such a good job anymore.
No, I mean, I think it's just two different sides because it's not about the ads, it's about the ads themselves, basically. Okay.
Interesting. I didn't see this part yet from the other side.
Yeah.
Like, which one works better for you?
We exclude app traffic completely. So if you're doing like a advertisement for a service, for a website, not for an app, right? We exclude always app traffic because it's always spammy, bullshit, low value traffic.
So then web is left.
Yeah. Web is the best. So if somebody comes from Google, it's the best. From Google.com, it's the best. If it's like search partners, it's shit. And this is search partners or display partners, basically.
I see.
Interesting. Okay, and then you made it. Like after 1.5 months, you say?
So 1.5 months, the revenue came back. We were super happy. Actually, it was like Christmas. So this whole thing started in August, and when it came back, it was like December, and around like Christmas period, like the Santa Claus brought the account back.
The money, basically.
Yeah. And that was the point where we started also building an iOS app as well, because we were releasing on Android only, and we had two options. Either I'm gonna learn how to write code in Swift in the iOS platform, or I'm gonna use a multi-platform coding tool like React Native or Flutter. So I decided to use Flutter because it was by Google. I was like, yeah, Google knows whatever they are doing. Their app first, and React. I know React from the web, so I was like, yeah, maybe Flutter will work better for me. So I destroyed the whole code base, and I rewrote. Actually, at that point we were rewriting the whole system in Flutter. So it was like demolish, boom, and then the new app that we wrote. It was both for Android and iOS as well. So it was one simple code base, and I think by December we released the first ever iOS app that we have. And yeah, iOS just also didn't blow up as much as Android. It was harder to get people, but when we got people, they worth a lot more, like 10, 15 times more. So if you have like 1,000...
Because they own an iPhone, which is more
like
expensive.
if you have money for an iPhone, you will also subscribe more often. So like 1,000 iOS users is equal to, I think, 15,000 Android users in revenue-wise. So it's
interesting. Like from ad traffic or from subscriptions or from purchases?
From purchases and ads as well, so both. So
crazy, okay.
So just iPhone users, like iPhone people usually have more money than non-iPhone people. Like that's kind of, that doesn't mean that Android people don't have money. It's just that iPhone is kind of more expensive. The Apple products, like we know that. So yeah, that's how it went, and we released iOS as well. And at that point, we tried so many things for like half year, and we grew until a point where it was more than our salaries before. So it was like we could live like fishes with it. But it was we kind of thought that there's more behind. There's more what we don't see, what we don't know. So we posted a job offer for a product owner to help us grow this app and to multiply our revenue. And we were really lucky with this guy. He's from Ukraine, and he helped us. Like he interviewed, and he was really sympathetic, and he had like a presentation of how he thinks that this app was gonna worth millions and everything. And after we started working with him on a percentage base for like 1 year, so until 1 year, whatever he makes, he can take away 50%. And he grew our apps 5 times in revenue wise.
He's a millionaire now, I guess. Not that.
Well, not millionaire exactly, but he made money that I've never made in my life, and I've never seen such paycheck that he made.
Really?
So he made really good money. But then
but also you did then, because you
exactly. And now the deal is over, so we've done like more than 100 plus A/B tests. And
so like what exactly did he, maybe not exactly, but like what what's a strategy in general? What does a product owner do?
So the product owner checks the data and checks where can we improve it, and checks what competitors are doing, analyzing it, and makes sure, like I would say, like product owner is literally like the CEO, but not the CEO. So he executes all these thinking about like where should the product go and how it will be successful. So I remember that every time that we talked, each meeting was the following: that he was bringing user statistics of like these many users are getting to the onboarding, these many people are getting to the clicking the select photo, these many people are starting the process, these many people are saving it. So it was like
whole analytics funnel.
Yeah, the funnel, like 100%, like 80%, 60, and like 30% saved.
Yeah.
So how can we fix it? And we were thinking about it, looking at the app. How can we make it easier for people to have more people to reach to clicking select photo? Maybe making the button bigger, maybe making it different color.
So like a conversion rate optimization, basically.
Okay. So it was literally like that, and it was funny. Like some of the things at the beginning. So how our app works? You have 10 photos per day.
What?
What happened?
I don't know.
It's still going?
I don't know.
So we're...
Huh. It just doesn't record anymore.
No? Do you have space?
I think so. Wait. Sorry.
Right. So, which?
Well, whatever. I'm gonna just change the audio and.
All right.
Oh.
So we were at the part.
Conversion rate optimization.
Yes. So interesting tests were one of the tests where our app works the following: you have 10 photos per day. If you don't subscribe, if you subscribe, you have unlimited photos to process. And at the beginning, we were showing people that how many photos they have left on the header. When you enter the app, you have 10, and when you start processing, you have 9, you have 8. And guess what? We did a test to hide it.
And it worked better?
It worked way better.
Because people were spending it, were like, shit, now I want more.
Yes, because people tried it out and people liked the results.
Yeah.
And as soon as we didn't show them how much they have left, they were going for it. And after 10, they were blocked with a paywall, with a screen, hey, please pay, otherwise you need to wait until tomorrow, until the timer resets. So this helped. This helped a tiny bit with the retention. People stayed more. People were coming back more and used it more if they didn't know the limits. So that was the fun part. But the most valuable test for us was to build the onboarding, like next, and then the paywall, a screen where you can purchase upfront. But you don't need to. And there's an X button to quit the onboarding paywall. But not everybody knows that there's an X button. So this worked the most because then people sometimes think it's a paid app, so they will pay upfront for it. Sometimes people close. Sometimes people I think we had users were a bit going down because of this, like not so many people engaged with the app, so you can see like a downhill in the users acquisition,
because it was just like, oh no, whatever, I'm gonna leave.
I'm gonna leave. But then you also seen like a spike in the revenue.
Yeah, interesting. Interesting.
So that worked for us really well.
So less usage of your computers, less usage of electricity, less usage of internet or whatever, or like of the material, and at the same time more revenue.
Yeah, I mean, we also offered a lot of trials. So usually this paywalls are trials, so you can also cancel it if you want. So, but this paywall worked the best for us. So that was one of the biggest point which was successful.
Mm-hmm. Super cool. Okay.
But we also had like many more A/B tests. We also put like reviews there at the beginning to show that people like it, which were real reviews from the store. We had really good product because like people rated above 4.5. So we have an average of sometimes 4 points based on country, because each review is per country. Some countries have 5, some 4.7, some 4.2, of course. But usually it's above 4 and mostly above 4 or 5. So people really like the product, and it's fast, and it's easy to use, I think.
Was it the last app you built? No.
Sorry?
Was it the last app you have built?
No. So we have 2 successful apps. I mean, of course, this photo enhancer restore is a duo twin.
Yeah.
I'm calling them one because from the same code base. But the next one was Avataro, which is generating AI avatars for you. Like you upload a photo and you get back a Prince or a Tinder profile picture or whatever you want to be generated, like anything. Like we have like thousands of styles in the app. And that project was funny because I don't know if you remember Lenza. Like 2 years ago in August, there was a mania, like a whole boom of AI.
Continue. Okay.
So yeah. So 2 years ago, there was like a boom of AI-generated photos. So there was this Lenza that was the biggest player, and you could upload some of your photos, 10, 15 photos of yourself, and then wait 10, 15 minutes, and then you get back like 50 photos generated by AI. And it was like, whoa, look at me.
LinkedIn profile pictures and whatever.
Yeah, like princess, like fairy tale photos, like fantasy photos, and Batman, Superman, whatever you wanted. And people were crazy about it because it was about them. Like they wanted to share, like people love themselves. So people immediately started sharing it. And I remember at that point, I have experimented with Stable Diffusion and I knew about it. And I told to the others, like, I can do this. I know how to do it, but I was busy with some other project. And few months passed, like August, September, October, November, and more people started sharing it. Like more and more of my close friends just shared it organically. Like, here's my photos, I did it with Lenza, check it out. Like, I can do it. And like December came and some of my really close friends shared it and like, fuck it, I'm gonna do it. So I threw away projects that I had, and I remember December, like 1.5 years ago, I started prototyping this new app called Avataro, and it was ready in like a month. So the prototype was out, and it could get 10 photos from you and wait like 10-15 minutes, and then it spitted out like 50 photos of yourself. It was good, but we've seen the retention was not good enough. So in a few months later, I looked at Reddit and I looked at technologies, and I figured out that there's a faster way to do avatars by keeping the face and keeping the depth of the image and just regenerating the rest of the image based on the depth. And it took 10 seconds instead of 10 minutes. And as soon as we released this new technology, everything changed, because like the users was 3x, like the installs went from 200, 300 to 700, 800 per day. And
and did the competition did the same? No.
No, not yet. Like I
Not
think
yet.
1 or 2 competitions were out with this technology,
Yeah.
but we were one of the first ones to implement it because usually competitions, like depends on who's running it. Because if they are developers with a lot of time without management, then they can move fast. But if there's a corporate behind it with a lot of people, they are busy with the previous technology still, so they are not don't have time to look at the newest Reddit trend. So pro tip, if you want to do something big, just look at what new technology is coming out. Like I can give you a hint now, the biggest trend is video AI. Like it's booming.
Yeah, like
Actually, we are planning to develop an app right now. So if you want to be a competitor, if you want to do, just go to Reddit and check out what's trending, what's new technology there's out there. Yeah, this video AI is on the top right now. In a month, it might be something else. So
that's interesting. I'm gonna be in a month sitting there and being like, oh, Zsolt told me about this one. That's probably his.
and there are players already in the market, but I think there's still space because it's just such a new niche. Like this Luma, I think, came out. It's a closed source project, but you can use it. And yeah, it's just epic what it does. I mean, there's no open source project that does such a beautiful video as them. So it's gonna be something worse in result terms, but the keywords are booming because everybody's searching for video AI as they've seen the results now with the new technology. So because of that, people are organically, naturally searching for it. Thus, if you create a video AI anything, that will be also booming because people will just flood it. They're just gonna come.
I can imagine, yeah.
Because of the natural search thing, like how it goes. So yeah, just keep an eye on Reddit, see what's going, what's trending, what type of new technology they came up with, what people are talking about, and you can just find something new and get it going.
Super cool, super cool. That's such a cool insight on this whole topic because I don't know any app developers at all, and it's such a completely different branch of things to do.
Yeah.
Have you got time left?
Yeah, I think there's a fan going in the toilet. 1 sec.
Yeah.
Let me just turn it off.
Thanks.
Way better.
That's true.
More quiet here. All right. Let me just plug it in again. Okay. So, yeah, I have still like 10-15 minutes to finish up the story. So after this product owner left us, now everything is back to us. So 100%, no more commission to pay.
And you've learned from it as well.
We learned a lot, and we took it to the next level as well. He also helped us with Avataro, so he was here with us to this project as well. So now he has ownership in Avataro. That's not time limited, so he's also an owner in this. So he worked on it for more than a year, 1.5 years, and yeah, he's also making a good buck out of it.
I can imagine, yeah.
1/3. So yeah. Now we had a certain point. I want to talk about paid marketing because we did that as well. But for apps, it's not so easy because apps are cheap and the lifetime value of a user, it's not so big.
What's like the typical churn? Like after what month do users cancel a subscription? Okay.
These statistics.
Your wife, understood.
Yes, my partner. She's doing it. So, but it was like I'm talking about it while I was hearing the story. I mean, if there's more insights needed, she will tell. She could tell more things. But I've seen the meetings and what was the conclusion about it. Like if you invest like, I don't know, 30-40K every month, even then, it only works if you invest this much money, and even then you get the money back in 1 year and only like 20% profit. So at a certain point we calculated that if you invest in S&P 500, then you don't have so much headache.
Yeah.
And if you go bigger than 1 million, then Google and Apple will charge you 30% service fee.
Really?
Yeah.
So they up the fee the more you actually invest?
Yeah, so if you make more than 1 million revenue in Google or Apple, they both have this policy that above 1 million, it's 30% service fee. So
What?
yeah, we started pushing the gas. We almost invested everything we made, but yeah, at a certain point we realize if we keep pushing the gas, then the revenue won't make any more sense, because 15% is still kind of worth it. But when it goes up to 30%, you would rather just invest in S&P 500 and just don't care about paid marketing. So we tried paid marketing for many months, and we spent quite some money. And at a certain point, when we realized where we're going, we just canceled everything. And now I think like 1 month ago, we soft exited the business. And that means that we stopped further development, we stopped paid marketing, we just maintain it, we fix some bugs, and we respond to users. So it really needs like 8-hour work from one person per week.
That's super cool. So you're done with it?
Kind of. So right, it has been 2.5 years of hard work on it.
Yeah.
So now I'm also taking I'm distancing myself as much as I can, because I still have 23 computers to feed.
Yeah, that's good distancing. Yeah.
I cannot fully distance myself because the system is relying still on me and our programmer as well. We have also a virtual assistant replying to emails. So it is still an active system, so we couldn't fully distance ourselves, but we reduced the work that it needs like minimally. So now we have time for new projects, and this is where it comes to where I'm going back to the prototyping self of mine. So I'm back to dreaming per se. It sounds a bit
in all directions.
Yeah.
Because you've probably kind of lost it a bit, or like pushed it away during the building app things.
Yeah, I had a lot of ideas while I was building these apps, and I didn't let space for them. So I'm now going back, and with a more knowledgeable mindset, I'm re-evaluating. And it's funny because I have a list of ideas, but some of them are like, I have a Notion idea. I have a book as well, what I wanted to make one day. But now, after I've done this journey of 2.5 years business, most of them don't make that much sense business-wise. And most of them, like, I evaluated again, and I gave them like, don't do it. Just do it if you want to have fun, but you're not gonna make money out of this. So now I'm harder to dismiss ideas, because I've seen how things work and what takes to build something, and how to succeed and how to fail. I have a cemetery of projects behind me. Like, I think if I can count at this point, I have like more than 50 projects that I started, prototypes or mini projects or whatever you call, that I made. It works, it does something, but it just didn't make it until production or profitability. Sometimes it made profit, but not enough. So they are kind of in the cemetery of projects.
Okay, interesting. Well, why did you decide to exit with your partner, this whole business, softly at least?
Because 2.5 years was a lot, and I'll be honest, enhancing photos was never my dream. So it was just a lucky coincidence that we were at the right place at the right time. And how do I say? So there are more cooler projects and more interesting projects to work on than enhancing photos. I mean, I'm not saving the world with a black and white photo to colorful, like what change I'm making. And I had bigger dreams to, I don't know, save the planet from garbage, like, or help people to, I don't know, to motivate other people to help the needy, to volunteer, to make a platform for volunteers, or composting, or recycling, or green. Like, this is why, like, there was a double push. Like, my partner wants to go in a sustainability business because her dream is to make something meaningful, is to do something for the planet. And now she's actually actively studying physics, biology, everything else that needs for sustainability. So now hopefully she's going to enter a business in sustainability. And for myself, I have plenty of dream projects, and I'm working on one right now, which is I'm a dancer, so I'm working on a dancing event where you can find all the dancers and dance classes in a single place.
What's the name of it? Do you have a name already?
Dancey.app. It's already available, but we didn't release it for production.
Yeah.
So we didn't spread the word yet, but the prototype, the MVP is there.
Yeah.
It needs some fine tuning, and it's going to be going out. I'm doing it with a partner. So pro tip, get yourself a co-founder, because that's how I succeeded. So I'm not doing any more projects alone, because I know where it's going to end up, right there behind in the cemetery, next to the others. So if
a good co-founder.
A good co-founder, because I heard horror stories about it. When just make a test, make sure that your values are matching. When do you want to exit or not exit? How much time can you put each in the business? Realistically, yeah. So I have 2 stories with 2 good co-founders that I worked with. I have stories with co-founders, not necessarily bad, but they were not committed enough to follow up after steps from me. So I developed something, and it was their side to bring me back client feedback, and it was just like, I'm too busy, I'm too, and it just didn't follow up. So it's really hard to commit and get commitment from people. So it is hard to get a co-founder, but I can recommend like Y Combinator co-founder matching. It's a platform, Y Combinator, biggest business incubator accelerator. Airbnb came out of there, and they have a platform to match you with co-founders. And we tried it out. We had a few calls. We didn't follow up because we didn't find the fit. But it was cool to catch up and see that this exists, and we could have been also co-founders if it would have been the right match. So it works. We really had calls, and we almost went with somebody from there, but at the end we found this Ukrainian guy who was helping us a lot. So co-founder. You don't need to do everything alone, and you shouldn't, and you are not even, like, just be honest with yourself. Are you good in marketing? Are you good in sales? Are you good in product? Are you good at looking at competition? Are you good at analyzing the user data? If the answer is no, if it bores you, and if you're a developer, just forget about it. Just partner up with somebody that's gonna help you, because it did help me a lot. And I didn't know, like, if I can go back in time, I would have searched for a co-founder way earlier than I did, because at the beginning I was naive to think that I can do everything by myself. And I've watched the social media movie with Mark Zuckerberg coding Facebook in one night with some beers. He was passing out at the end by tiredness and alcohol, and he was waking up in the morning, and hundreds of people are using his platform.
That's not how it works, I believe.
That's how I thought it works.
Yeah.
That's how I always imagined, like, I'm going to write something so epic, then I'm just going to pass out by the alcohol, and then in the next day, everything just blows up. I mean, it kind of happened with the enhancer, because it blew up, but it's hard to repeat. And Mark Zuckerberg was lucky, because he one of a kind, but it's like a shooting star. It's not gonna happen. Like, there's so many stars, those are your ideas, and the one shooting star that's coming, if it's like you look up the sky, is there a shooting star? No, like it's really rare to find one of these, and to be there to look at the shooting star. Like,
and then actually execute and do something with the shooting star.
Yeah, because you might be able to, like, have a beautiful idea, but ideas are 1%, execution is 99%. And it's so funny, because I went to Mexico, and there was this guy, I have a good idea. And like, tell me more. no, you need to sign an NDA first.
Oh wow.
And like, go fuck yourself, come on. And like,
Yeah.
I told him
You
like,
know nothing.
no,
Yeah.
I told him this is silly. And then a few months later, he was like, I talked with a few people and you're right. Yeah, this is silly. But you still want to co-found this one? I'm like, come on, dude. Like, you kind of, no.
That's
If
desperate,
we
yeah.
start the relationship like that, the red flags are there.
Yeah,
It's just,
100%.
it's going to be,
There's no trust at all. Yeah.
yeah. So yeah.
1% idea, 99% execution. I like
Yeah.
that. Yeah.
I mean, people have ideas. Every person have an idea, but then
Yeah. Nobody wants to execute.
an execution is hard because you're gonna fail. And you're gonna fail multiple times until you get to the one. And you need to be ready. You need to already know how to be. If I would have been finding out about this AI enhancer and I don't know how to build apps, okay, I could take half year, and then after half year the market is already crowded. So I might not have that much of a success how I got now. Like,
I agree. So your wife wants to go more into sustainability. What about you?
I want to have fun. No,
Fuck this reliable, sustainable shit. No,
no, but
I don't want to help people. I want to help myself.
no, it's actually like if she finds something, she didn't find anything yet that's working and it's something stable and something that's certain. If she finds something, I will jump in to help her with my skills as well. If like my big goal is to be an investor. So that's my long-term goal. Like in a few years from now, I want to have multiple projects and I want to have a system everywhere. And I want to also be the one that funds it and tell the direction where to go. So
In apps?
not necessarily.
Okay.
Not necessarily just in apps. It could be also web. It could also be like physical product. Hell yeah! Like if somebody got through
The boat, maybe? Again? Come on.
maybe. But the only thing is that if I start something, I'm not starting myself without a co-founder. And if I fund something, I want to make sure that the person is not having his first project. Because if it's first project, it's highly likely it's gonna fail. And even now, in the Nomad Fest, I've seen people showing their prototypes. It's nice that they're doing it, and I'm pretty sure that they're gonna need to change it because it's the way of learning. You need to try and learn from it, and then your assumptions are getting clearer. And the next time you assume something, it's based on your failures. So you need to build up those failures in order to reach to the success. Or partner up with somebody really knowledgeable and listen to them. But then it also depends on you how much you can pivot your thoughts and to give in to somebody more knowledgeable. Because sometimes you have like, yeah, this is gonna work because I believe in this and that. So it really depends if what type of person you are. Because yeah, I think partnering up with somebody knowledgeable makes sense. But then it's hard to find somebody knowledgeable that's going to partner up with you if you're a beginner. So it's a
Yeah, but it also
tricky.
makes sense because like people that start their own first project, they maybe are dedicated and motivated, but they just don't have eaten enough shit yet, I believe. Right? I cannot say that because I haven't myself, but I believe that, you know, like they're gonna fall.
Yeah, they're gonna.
Yeah.
So it's a way of business. You will need to get used to fail, and if you get used to failure, and if you don't take it personally, then you're good to go. Like there's only how is it? You cannot fail if you don't quit. So if you keep on doing, then yeah, eventually it's gonna succeed. Just keep on doing it. And it's I mean it's the same thing. Like if you want a girlfriend, by sitting home you're not gonna get a girlfriend. You need to go out, you need to execute.
Yeah.
This is the same with projects. Same like projects, the same as girlfriend. It's not gonna be like projects are not gonna come in your way if you not start to execute, not start to put some shit out there, whatever it's ready or not. You need to start putting things out, starting things, validating your ideas and executing and put products out. So that's really important, and people should start doing it more and complain less. But yeah, I think there's a lot of space for apps, websites. So there's a lot of chances. It's still not too late. AI is still at the beginning. Whatever is gonna happen, we are still in the early stage. Nothing is too late. Big players are taking the big fishes, but there's still a lot of small fishes that don't even know about AI. So whatever you do with GPT, Stable Diffusion, there's still a place in the market. You just need to be creative.
I love that you try to inspire. That's amazing.
Yeah.
You are very inspiring. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Appreciate it.
That's very cool. Very cool. Oh, and it's an amazing story to tell. Really, it is.
Thank you. Cheers.